Good afternoon, everyone. Let's move to agenda item number 1. It is the information paper issued since the last meeting. There is one information paper that has been passed to members. The information paper is about the government's proposed legislative amendments, including the
that is on streamlining the intellectual property litigation processes at the High Court and the proceedings before the relevant registries. It's a paper from the administration. Do we have any question on this? If not, as at the 18th of November 2024, 5 p.m., that is the deadline, no member has got any comment for the information paper I just mentioned, and therefore we are not going to follow up on this paper. In accordance with information from the government, there will be proposed subsidiary legislation to LegCo in the first half of 2025 for negative vetting. So the information paper has been circulated to members. The administration has got a paper that is on number 5 of our list of outstanding items for discussion, updating the rules of the High Court, Cap 4A in relation to court proceedings under the Patents Ordinance, Cap 514, Registered Designs Ordinance, Cap 522, and the Trademarks Ordinance. So there will be no discussion on this paper. Do members agree? All right. Next, we have the proposed items for discussion for the next meeting, scheduled for the 17th of December 2024 from 2:30 to 5:30. Because 4 items have been proposed by the administration for discussion. And the third one is a financial item. So the next meeting will last for 3 hours to allow ample time for members' discussion. 4 items. First, latest development of the trade single window. Second, innovation and technology industry-oriented fund. 3, frontier technology research support scheme. And 4, latest development of the Hong Kong Shenzhen Innovation and Technology Park. Members, do we agree that these items will be discussed at our next meeting? Now we move on to item 3 of our agenda. And that is report on the work of the Hong Kong SL government's offices in the mainland, as well as report on the works of overseas Hong Kong economic and trade offices. Let us welcome the administration to the meeting. First, now my throat is a bit dry. So I'll first give the floor to the Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development. And members, if you have questions, please press the request to speak button. Over to you, Secretary. Thank you, Chair and members of the panel. Every year we arrange for our in charge of mainland officers in the mainland and ETOs to report to members the progress of their work during the year. So all the officials are here today to give an account of their work to the panel. As one of the largest economies in Hong Kong, now our system and our advantages is an economy for incorporating the advantages of the country. Hong Kong is not just a super connector, but also a super value adder. We offer a diversity of high-value added quality services covering legal, financing, and design, etc. services. In the past year, the mainland offices and ETOs continue to work in areas of under their portfolio to liaise with governments, the business sector, the media, and they also have regular meetings with Hong Kong people living there. They have various channels. They offer forums and also symposiums for different sectors. And they also work together with the Trade Development Council and as well as Invest Hong Kong in promoting Hong Kong to these areas. The main officers and also ETOs have done their very best in explaining government policies to these places. They also promote the unique advantages of Hong Kong, I think the support of the mainland and also having one country, two systems. They also promote the various opportunities brought about by the GBA and BRI, and they also promote Hong Kong to the investing sector. They attract talents and strategic enterprises to Hong Kong to start their businesses. They also promote our soft power in arts and culture to these areas. These officers also give support to the work of the CE and principal officers when they make duty visits to these places and also attend international conferences to promote our business opportunities and also promote Hong Kong's position as the 8 centers under the 14th National 5-Year Plan and to promote Hong Kong's position as a bridge to encourage them to grasp our tremendous business opportunities to enhance trade and economic relations with these places, to contribute to the country as well. For ETOs, in the past year, they have supported visits made by the principal officials as well as members of the Executive Council, the Legislative Council, professional bodies, and also chambers of commerce. The CE in July visited Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, 3 ASEAN countries. 55 memorandum of understanding were signed. The visits were very fruitful. In order to compete for talents and enterprises, there's 15 ETOs and 5 mainland officers. They have got their own dedicated teams to attract enterprises and talents, and they also attract potential businesses to expand their business in Hong Kong. And the dedicated teams also reach out to potential enterprises to discuss preliminary cooperation opportunities and to provide follow-up support. And dedicated teams have various activities. They work together with the top 8 universities, and they also promote the various talents admission schemes. Dedicated teams and OECs continue to support arts and culture activities. They sponsor various performances. They organize the Dragon Boat Festival so that people there can understand our various advantages and our soft power. ETOs also keep in view the commentaries on Hong Kong in different sectors. They disseminate correct information, accurate information of Hong Kong, and they use different channels to refute unreasonable criticisms and ill-intentioned comments so as to enhance people's understanding of Hong Kong and to uphold our international image. In the 2024 policy address, it is proposed that the government should do its utmost to strengthen Hong Kong's position as an international trade, shipping, and financial center. The mainland officers and ETOs will continue to implement various measures and policies to attract strategies, and as tenants, we have extra low duty on alcohol, and we've also got latest measures in CEPA to attract overseas companies to set up their business in Hong Kong and also to go into the mainland market. In coming year, mainland officers and ETOs will continue to work with governments of the respective areas and cooperate with the professional bodies in these places. ETOs will also work with international business, commerce, chambers of commerce in Hong Kong. They will make use of overseas visits made by these chambers of commerce and professional bodies to explore opportunities for them to come to Hong Kong and to promote our advantages and also our tourism strengths so that they can tell the good stories of Hong Kong from different perspectives. I'd like to invite the officers in charge of 5 major officers to give an account of the work in the past year and also the plan for the coming year. Now, they are going to speak in the following order: Ms. Amy Yuen, Acting Director of Beijing Office; Ms. Shelley Yong, Special Representative for Hong Kong ETO to the EU; Mr. Owen Fung, Director of Hong Kong ETA Singapore; Mr. Damian Lee, Director General of Hong Kong ETA in Dubai, and also Ms. Winky So, Permanent Representative of Hong Kong SAR to the WTO. I will first give the floor to Ms. Amy Yuen, Acting Director from Beijing Office. Over to you, Ms. Amy Yuen. Chair and members of the panel, I'd like to give a brief account of our work in the mainland. Now, we promote trade and also our relations with the mainland. Now, in September, November, we had a major event in Shanghai and Beijing. We also liaise with and communicate with the CPG, the provincial municipal councils, and we also invite major representatives of chambers of commerce. We promote our advantages to them. Our dedicated teams and also the Hong Kong Talent Engage is trying the best to attract enterprises and talents to Hong Kong. They have seminars, exhibitions, so as to target at enterprises and talents so that they can come to develop in Hong Kong. We also tell good stories of Hong Kong in the mainland. Different officers share the good stories of Hong Kong through collaboration with authorities in provinces, municipalities, and autonomous regions. They make use of different social media platforms. They have different feature exhibitions. They promote exchange with the mainland, and all our events are well received and they were widely reported by the media. For youth and cultural exchange, the main officers support Hong Kong people to take part in internship and exchange programs in the mainland. In addition to providing internship openings, different officers also arrange for Hong Kong students to meet with authorities there, so as to understand the learning and also working situation in the mainland. We'll continue to work with different provincial and municipal governments and the central people's government so as to promote our cooperation and exchange with these places. Thank you. Now, may I give the floor to Ms. Shelley Yong, Special Representative for the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Officers to the EU. Thank you. I would like to report to you our work in Brussels. Now, we represent the interests of Hong Kong in 15 European countries, and we also promote bilateral relations with major countries there. We are the third largest trading partner with these places, with over 1,500 companies there. Now, for the Brussels ETU, we maintain regular dialogue with EU member states, and we also have dialogues on Hong Kong, and we also pay attention to trade policies that may have an impact on Hong Kong. We have a regular liaison with governments there and to and tell them what the situation is like in Hong Kong. We also promote exchange with these places. All 3 ETOs support visits by principal officials to these places. In January, the CS visited Geneva and Lausanne in Switzerland to meet with the business sector, the government bodies there to tell them about what Hong Kong is like now. And the FS visited Switzerland in January. In May, he visited Paris to join an Tech. And then they also visited Spain and to explore room for cooperation in these places. We also support our principal officials to attend important conferences in Europe to introduce and to promote our advantages. Together with Invest Hong Kong, TDC, and different chambers of commerce, we organize different trade, promotion, and exchange forums to tell them our positioning as the 8 centers, and also we promote the development of GBA and also our unique role under BRI.
We would like to attract more talents and enterprises from Europe to come to Hong Kong. For the dedicated team to attract talents and businesses, we have also tried to entice major businesses to come to Hong Kong and participated in the major events there for attracting talents. To promote Hong Kong as a center for cultural exchange between the East and West, the 3 DTOs also support the Hong Kong tourism in promoting Hong Kong arts and the performing groups in Europe. We try to strive for more exchange opportunities for them. For example, we have supported the Hong Kong Orchestra to perform in 6 countries in Europe. The Brussels office has also staged a Hong Kong China Night in Paris and demonstrate the music and the cultural performances of Hong Kong, and also Hong Kong as a sports center. Also, we have participated in a number of fashion shows in Europe and also the design exhibitions and film festivals. And we try to support the performance of the creative industries in Europe. Looking ahead, the UTOs will continue to promote Hong Kong, to understand our advantages under the one country, two systems, and also to encourage the European companies to make use of Hong Kong to enter the China market and Asia. We'll also try to publicize the special positioning of Hong Kong under the GBA. And in accordance with the latest policy address of the Chief Executive, we will try to promote to our European partners about the opportunities for cooperation with Hong Kong. For example, the 3 ETOs will try to liaise with the various chambers of commerce and communities in Europe so that there will be more businesses cooperation. And also, we will also try to look at the trade relationships between Europe and other countries. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Owen Fong, the Director of the Singapore office. Thank you, Chairman, members. The Singapore office covers Singapore, Vietnam, Laos, and India under the ASEAN countries. For the Bangkok ETO, we try to cover Bangkok as well. And for the Jakarta office, we cover Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines as well. And also, we try to represent the Hong Kong's connection with the ASEAN countries. The ASEAN is the Hong Kong's second largest trading partner. With the free trade agreement since February 2012, our relationship with the ASEAN has become closer. And there are a lot of investment and business opportunities. ASEAN is also set up with great potential under the Belt and Road Initiative. We try to promote Hong Kong's position as an international financial and trade center. Also, we try to play the role as a bridge between mainland and the 10 countries under ASEAN. We also try to take forward the opportunities and business opportunities under the Belt and Road Initiative and the GBA. We have been liaising close contact with the officials in the ASEAN countries. The Chief Executive has led a high-level delegation and business representatives to visit Laos, Vietnam and have meetings with the senior officials there and the business leaders there. They discuss about the business opportunities between Hong Kong and those cities. During the visit, we have signed 55 MOUs with the countries concerned and covered a lot of areas, including customs cooperation, investment promotion, economic and trade cooperation, financial services and new energy, development and educational exchanges, aviation, and also tourism. So for this visit, there are 5 achievements. First, we enhanced the liaison between the high-level government officials. Second, on the scope of cooperation, we have come to some consensus. Third, we try to strengthen the business network so as to explore new opportunities and business opportunity and add impetus to growth. Fourth, we agree to try to build BRI together. And finally, we have secured their support for Hong Kong's accession to RCEP, Hong Kong's accession to the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. So we have already visited 7 of the ASEAN countries and tried to create business opportunities there. This year, the Singapore and the Jakarta ETO has also assisted members of the Legislative Council to visit Singapore, Indonesia, and Malaysia, so that members would understand about the business, tourism, and technological education development opportunities there. Also, we try to tell the good stories of the mainland and Hong Kong and to deepen cooperation with the ASEAN countries. On arts and culture, we try to support the work of the relevant bureau and stage performances by the relevant groups in the ASEAN countries. For the dedicated office, in our office, we have met with over 140 businesses in Hong Kong and assisted 20 of them to establish a presence in Hong Kong. And they are industries, as stated in the 14th five-year plan, including telecommunication, artificial intelligence, etc. On competing for talents, we make use of different platforms to promote the unique positioning of Hong Kong and also the enhanced measures for attracting talents to Hong Kong. We introduced to them the working environment in Hong Kong and the business opportunities. We also assisted the universities in Hong Kong to collaborate with their counterparts in Laos so that the students after graduation can come and work in Hong Kong. The 3 ETOs in the ASEAN countries will continue to liaise closely with the government departments and the business corporations there. And for the we also liaise with the Hong Kong family corporations to stage events in Hong Kong to enhance the position of Hong Kong in the ASEAN countries. Next, I would like to invite the Director of Dubai, Mr. Damien Lee. Member, Chairman, well, since the opening of the office in 2021, we have tried to cover the 6 member states of the Cooperation Council for the Arab States of the Gulf, that is Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. We try to deepen the bilateral relations between Hong Kong and these countries. Last year, the CE has led a high-level delegation to the Middle East and has achieved a lot of results. So for the visit, it has provided impetus to the development of bilateral relations between Hong Kong and these respective member states. And we have also supported the visits of senior officials to these countries and also enhanced collaboration with these countries. We try to step up trade and economic cooperation. In the last year, we are delighted to see that for government to government and then also for the business and the community sector, there are close ties established, and we have achieved a lot of results. Since last year, we have reported to this panel, and after that, the Financial Secretary, the Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry, the Secretary for Environment, Ecology, as well as other senior officials have led delegations from the financial sector, etc., to come visit the countries in the GCC member states. We participated in the major exhibitions there, and they have meetings with the senior government officials and business leaders there. And the policy areas covered include promoting green finance in Hong Kong, and also the establishment of an I&T center in Hong Kong, and also to establish Hong Kong as the legal and dispute resolution center for the Asia Pacific. These visits have also succeeded in establishing a lot of fruitful results with the Gulf industry. For example, SCED has visited Bahrain and signed an agreement on protection of investment promotion and protection agreement, and also the comprehensive avoidance of double taxation agreement. This has really enhanced the opportunities for investing in the business sector there. And with the direct flight between Hong Kong and Riyadh by the Cathay Pacific, following that, the FS has led over 100 business leaders to take this inaugural flight to attend the Future Investment Initiative in Riyadh in October. Also, there have been ETFs that are available in the stock exchange there. Also, the Hong Kong MA and the other startups in Hong Kong that are related to information technology, they have also established an MOU with Saudi Arabia countries so as to enhance the development of finance and information and technology development. So apart from senior government officials, the various chambers of commerce, professional bodies, and community organizations have also visited the Gulf area. So the Dubai ETO has launched a lot of activities. In December last year and also this year, we have worked with the General Chamber of Commerce and the Institute of Architects Institute of Engineers to organize events to enhance cooperation. In addition, we also encourage the member states of the GCC to come visit Hong Kong. For example, we have arranged for the senior officials of the state members to attend the Asian Financial Forum in Hong Kong. Following the visit by the CE last year, he has met with the Secretariat of the Gulf Area Council, and it has come visit Hong Kong and have more in-depth exchange with the Chief Executive. So we can see that there are a lot of enhanced collaboration with the Cooperation Council for the Arab states, and these Arab states are part of the BRI. We are now enjoying the benefits of the strong support from the mainland, and we have good connection with the world. So this will enhance the member states' interest in doing business in Hong Kong. We will provide assistance to them, and we will also organize activities so as to explore business opportunities in the Middle East. We will also liaise with the various interlocutors so as to encourage more talents and more enterprises to come to Hong Kong. Thank you. Last but not least, I would like to invite Ms. Wen Ki-so to speak to us, the permanent rep of Hong Kong to WTO. Hong Kong is a founding member of the WTO, and after the handover, we will continue to participate in the WTO as an independent member of the WTO. So the Geneva office has made good use of this arrangement, and we will try to make use of the rule-based arrangements for the WTO. For the 13th ministerial meeting conference held in Abu Dhabi, MC13, there are a number of major work, and we have included that in Annex 4 to the paper. So I would just want to point out some of the major points that the Geneva ETO has been focusing on in 2024. Last year, when reporting to this council, we mentioned that all the members will participate in the multilateral negotiations. Some members, they are more active in improving the investment and business opportunities there. And there has been multilateral discussions. And Hong Kong has also actively participated in this. There are 76 member states who have participated in the discussion about the agreement on services. I think most of them have filed the acceptance instrument. The second one is the development of the investment agreement. Well, since July, the negotiations have been completed, but there are new members joining in. So far, there are 125 members who have participated in this agreement, and that accounts for about 2/3 of all the member states. And they have also suggested that this should be incorporated in the WTO legislature.
Another ongoing work is electronic commerce. That is the work program of the e-commerce in MC13. All members of WTO agree that we should maintain the current practice of not imposing customs duties on electronic transmissions until MC14 or the 31st of March 2026. And with 90 WTO members, we have multilateral talks started on facilitation of e-commerce so that we can have a more transparent and facilitating environment. The first round of talks is almost over, and we have also made some announcements. So the joint declarations there are to support the development of e-commerce in Hong Kong and to maintain the smooth operation of multilateral trade. We are now working on a reform of the dispute settlement system. We hope that by 2024 we can have a fully and well-functioning dispute settlement system. We have been working very hard on talks. So far, only some of the issues have gone from conceptual discussions to drafting of proper documents. So we are still a far cry from having a proper resolution. So we will continue to work towards this goal together with other member states. Thank you. Once again, I'd like to thank the Secretary and also his team of ETO and Mainland officers, officials. They have helped to promote Hong Kong from different perspectives for a long time. Yesterday and today, I took part in HKMA's investment summit. I met with many top-notch experts in the financial area, and some of them have just come back for the first time after COVID, and they found that Hong Kong is much better than expected. We have excellent food here. We've also got the M+ as well as the National Palace Museum. They are newly added to Hong Kong. Now, if you just rely on writing a few articles to international media to refute their commentaries, that may not always be effective because our articles may not get published. So action is much more important. Hopefully, as you tell the good stories of Hong Kong, you can cover as many aspects as possible. If I've said this once, I've said it a number of times. That is logical has been advocating automatic renewal of leases 6 years prior to expiry of the leases. Many foreigners I met today said to me, how come I've never heard of this before? Because this can really boost our confidence in investing in Hong Kong. And I also told them that we have got a 5-year pass for traveling into the mainland. Now, this is a much better known measure because many of their colleagues have already benefited under the new policy. So I hope we can better publicize our good policies to them. And I think you should promote these good measures to them. And you can make use of AI nowadays. Of course, the important thing is to ensure that AI has got the translation correct. I hope you can tell more good stories of Hong Kong on behalf of the government and the people of Hong Kong. We have to hand this venue to another meeting on time, and 10 members already pressed the request to speak button, excluding myself. So I will draw a line after that. So each member can have up to 3 minutes for questions and answers. You cannot overrun. I will cut as soon as your time is up. If you really want your questions to be answered, do make them short. I'll read out the names. Jimmy Shanghai Long, Sunny Tan, Wendy Hong, Robert Lee, Edmund Wong, Xiu Ka Fai, Ma Fong Kwok, Dennis Leung, and Johnny Ng. Mr. Jimmy Ng. Thank you. Now, according to the Washington ETU, U.S. China relations continue to be bad, and the ETU will continue to promote Hong Kong and tell good stories of Hong Kong. First, I must commend the Washington WTO for pressing ahead in this very difficult period. But then you can never wake up someone who pretends to be sleeping. So can you tell us what new measures or approach do you have so that you can maintain close work relations with the government and also the politicians in Washington, so that you can really wake them up, feeling that will you channel our resources to other places such as the Middle East countries? All right, how can you wake up someone who pretends to be asleep? Thank you. In fact, our U.S. ETOs have been under tremendous pressure, and the situation is still rather uncertain. The act has to be passed first, and it has to be endorsed by the U.S. president. They're going to have a new president soon, and we understand that it's quite unlikely for the act to be passed by the Congress before the new term of government swears in. But I think we have to be prepared for the worst once that act really gets passed. Our ETOs may have to be removed from the U.S. if worse comes to worse, but I will not detail on our strategy. For the Washington, San Francisco, and New York ETOs, business is normal there. But whether our work is acceptable to them is also uncertain. The political climate there is rather conservative, but then we have already got a fallback plan should anything happens. Hopefully you can wake them up, and hopefully they can report the true situation in Hong Kong here. Mr. Shanghai Long, first I want to thank the ETOs and mainland officers for their hard work. I'm quite concerned about attracting businesses and talents. As mentioned by the WTOs, they have done a lot. They have made 480 visits in San Francisco. They have got more than 40 successful projects in Toronto. They visited more than 4,000 enterprises, and 48 have already taken the foothold in Hong Kong. And the CE has also got major MOUs signed. I'd like to know whether we have any targeted strategic enterprises to be attracted to Hong Kong. If yes, can you tell us their names? Do you have any limit as to the number of strategic enterprises to be attracted to Hong Kong? Now, when it comes to talents and enterprises that would like to have in Hong Kong, what efforts have been made? Thank you. For attracting businesses and talents, our ETOs have their regular plans. Invest Hong Kong has already attracted more than 1,000 enterprises to Hong Kong. Our ETOs have assisted in the work of Invest Hong Kong, and in our introduction, we mentioned a number of promotional events, and we also reach out to the top 100 universities. So our dedicating teams are working very hard. We have got strategic enterprises to Hong Kong thanks to the help of our ETOs. As for the names, the enterprises we're working on, we don't want to disclose their names here so as not to prejudice their plans. ETOs have followed objectives and indicators of the Invest Hong Kong. And then for enterprises, we haven't got any quota where we'll introduce as many high-tech talents as we need. And as for innovation technology, we need artificial intelligence, we need different areas of talents. But of course, we do not rule out the introduction of talents from other disciplines into Hong Kong. Mr. Sunny Tan. Thank you, Chair. We thank the Secretary and his team. We really appreciate the hard work of the ETOs for Beijing, Shanghai, and Chengdu. And I've also visited Southeast Asia as well as Paris, and France. I have obtained help from the mainland officers or ETOs there, so I can testify to their hard work. As for the future development of Hong Kong, our role may change internationally. For going global, we maybe talk about different production areas. We want to tap into ASEAN markets, and we want to attract investment from the mainland to Hong Kong. We're grateful to our mainland officers for publicizing Hong Kong in Hebei, etc. I hope you can help us to identify suitable enterprises so as to work together with the industries in Hong Kong to go global. As for liaison, I also hope that there can be support from these officers. And as for the Western markets, I hope you can help different chambers of commerce and trade associations so that there can be more conferences and exchange forums being held in Hong Kong. Secretary, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tan, for your questions. As said by Mr. Tan, we want many mainland enterprises would like to go global through Hong Kong to ASEAN countries in particular. And therefore, in the policy address that was mentioned of a regional supply chain business so that enterprises can go global through Hong Kong. Invest Hong Kong is working on this. Hopefully, a few enterprises from the eastern part of China can go global through Hong Kong. As for overseas chambers of commerce, now we have been in constant contact with the EU Chamber of Commerce to tell them our advantages and how Hong Kong can be a platform for enterprises to go into the GBA. They can set up their headquarters or branch offices in Hong Kong. They can enjoy the various advantages under CEPA. We have already revised another CEPA so that we can 153 industries that can benefit under CEPA, and that is very good news to these companies.
Ms. Wendy Hong. Thank you, Chair. There is a signing ceremony for the strategic enterprises that have been attracted to Hong Kong. We have so far attracted some 60 enterprises. About 20% of them are from the overseas. Given the recent geopolitical situation, I think this is quite a good performance. But if we look at the 8 positionings for Hong Kong, I don't think all of them are related to the international arena. I think we have to step up efforts in attracting enterprises to Hong Kong. So apart from the geopolitics that's posing challenges for us, I think we can work on other fronts. I would like to know, for the dedicated teams under the ETOs, how are they going to liaise with the overseas enterprises? Is there any gaps that we need to bridge, or any particular area that they want to cover? Is it the hardware support that's important, or the land supply that's in question? For the ETOs, they have been attracting a lot of enterprises to come to Hong Kong, but we should also assist Hong Kong enterprises to go global. I have also met with some of the enterprises which are establishing a presence in Hong Kong, and they want to go overseas as well. For example, like the satellite industry, they need to have the relevant data. And for their clients, most of them are actually the mainland government departments. But because it is a B2G situation, it is difficult for them to reach out to the overseas governments. So I wonder whether the ETOs can assist these industries so that they can get in touch with the overseas government departments to promote their business. Thank you. I would like to invite the Permanent Secretary to take this question. Ms. Maggie Wong. Thank you, Chair. Well, attracting enterprises to Hong Kong is one of the major work of our ETOs. And for the dedicated teams under the ETOs, they work together and they try to organize a lot of business seminars or business matching. And for the different markets, I think the important point is that they can see the business opportunities available in Hong Kong. For example, information and technology, financial, and also big data, and life sciences. All these are areas that they are interested in. In the past, we have attracted a number of companies interested in the above areas to come to Hong Kong, and they are doing well. For the business opportunities in overseas, we attach a lot of importance to that. We have well-established professional services in Hong Kong, like the legal sector, the engineering sector, the accounting sector. We do organize overseas promotion events for them from time to time. And we also invite the people in the network of the ETOs, including government officials, to attend these events. And we will share the information with the relevant industries. Next, Mr. Robert Lee. Thank you, Chair. I have some questions and comments. Geopolitics is complicated and fast-changing. Well, Hong Kong has a lot of connection in the international arena, and we have to demonstrate to the world that there is good business opportunity in Hong Kong and development in Hong Kong. Also, we have professional services support. I think it is important to tell the successful stories as to how some companies are making money in Hong Kong. That will encourage investors overseas to come to Hong Kong and use it as a springboard for accessing the mainland market and also assisting mainland companies to go global. Two questions. For the future work, how are you going to enhance collaboration with the financial sector? There are several cities, for example, like Hangzhou, Xi'an, and Ningbo. They all have a lot of memorandum of understanding with the stock exchange. For the case of Xi'an and Ningbo, there are a lot of listed companies from these cities. So how can we make full use of these companies so as to enhance cooperation and development in the financial sector? The second question, how do you quantify the work of the ETOs? Well, from time to time, we do heard from the industry that they want to develop overseas, say in Singapore, but then the government there has been very proactive. I don't know whether they are correct assessments or not, but I think they may come across difficulties in developing in these countries. So how are you going to demonstrate to the industry that you will fight for them? Secretary, thank you, Mr. Lee. Two parts to answer your question. On the development of financial sector in the mainland, I will invite the officers from the mainland offices to respond to that. They are more familiar with that aspect. On the performance of the ETOs, this time they have come back and report to the ETOs, and the permanent secretary has discussed with the ETOs as to how to assess their work in future. I think later on we may have a more precise assessment focusing on the results rather than quantitative numbers. And we hope that the results will bring development to the GDP and there will be positive impact. I would defer to the mainland officers to respond to the second question. Thank you, Chair. I am the director of the Shanghai mainland office. So the countries that mentioned are in the eastern part of China. I think the council is correct that we have close liaison with these cities in the financial sector. For the dedicated teams of the ETO, of the mainland offices, they have been attracting these companies to come and be listed in the Hong Kong market. We have liaised with the Commerce Department of the relevant government departments and also the monetary authorities there because they are responsible for encouraging companies to be listed. In particular, we will work with the representatives in the mainland of the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, and we try to collaborate with them. And from time to time, the officers from the financial sector, we also visit the mainland and promote work in this aspect. Next, Mr. Mayor Edwin Wong. Thank you, Chair. I think the ETOs has played a significant role in the past and contributed to the economic development of Hong Kong. Now we are developing INT. In the past, I think the ETOs have focused in some markets, and these are mature markets, so the room for improvement may not be that great. So I would like to know whether there is any plan for new markets like South American countries, the Middle East. We have to make strategic moves to open up these markets. Like Peru, the CE has just attended the APEC meeting in Peru and signed some MOUs, but we need to follow up. So I would like to know whether you will redeploy your manpower resources so as to explore these new markets. Thank you. Secretary. Thank you, Mr. Wong, for your question. This is a very good one. The administration has been trying to open up new markets in the new economies like the Middle East and also Latin America. In future, we may go to other countries. And for the deployment of the ETOs, we will try to take a look. We may not be opening up a new ETO in a country, but we will also ask an existing ETO to cover such country. For example, in Latin America, they may be covered by the ETOs in the United States. When there is a specific need, when there is the demand for such service, we do not preclude the opening up of a ETO in Latin America. We will try to open up another office in Riyadh and also Kuala Lumpur. So you can see that we are actually extending the coverage of the ETOs so as to attract talent and enterprises to Hong Kong. So we would look at the actual economic development in that particular place and also the economic relations with Hong Kong to decide whether to open up another ETO. Next, Mr. Shu Ka-fei. Thank you, Chair. Well, geopolitics has affected the work of the ETOs, and I'm grateful for them for carrying their work despite the geopolitical headwinds. Well, some of the Europe and American countries, they may be posing challenge to the development of Hong Kong. I think it is important for us to open up our relationship with the ASEAN countries. I can see that a lot of ETOs have reported their work. I would like to ask about the work in Jakarta and Bangkok. Can they also explain to us what they have been doing there and what are the opportunities there? So I would ask the director of the ETOs half a minute for each of them. Bangkok, Mr. Parson Lam. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members. Well, Bangkok ETO actually covers Cambodia, Bangladesh, and Mainland. Well, they actually are interested in working with Hong Kong. This is the first point. Secondly, I think they understand that the ETO want to enhance ties with the ASEAN countries, so they welcome that. We can see that the business opportunities are mutual. For Bangkok and Bangladesh, they can be the basis for our production industry and also our services industry. At the same time, we can see that they can come to Hong Kong and make use of the opportunities here. So it is a two-way street. Next, Ms. Libera Chang of the Jakarta office. Please switch on the microphone. Thank you, Mr. Shu. I think you are very correct in saying that the ASEAN is actually the second largest trade partner of Hong Kong. I cover Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Brunei. So everyone is familiar with Malaysia. A lot of Hong Kong businessmen have in there, and they also welcome the Hong Kong culture. For the Indonesia, the population is youngest there, and there are a lot of business opportunities. The chairman and also the president of the LegCo have been to Jakarta, and they understand that the people in Jakarta are interested in the opportunities in Hong Kong. This morning, we have discussed that they see that we have been investing a lot in INT sector, and they are also interested in that. So in future, we'll try to promote our advantages in this aspect. If there are businessmen from Hong Kong who would like to go there, we would try to assist them. Chair, I hope that we will try to invite more friends from the ASEAN countries to visit Hong Kong as tourists. Secretary, I think one ETO is responsible for covering 4 countries. I think that's a lot of work. The delegation from Legislative Council have been to Jakarta, and then we also visited Malaysia. So the director and the team has been flying around. I'm not talking about cost, but I'm just talking about whether you have sufficient manpower to cover 4 countries under one ETO. I think we should try to promote Hong Kong more in these places. For example, in Brunei, they have rich natural resources. I think we should try to introduce the uniqueness of the various countries in greater detail. Well, the ETO undertakes a lot of important work, and that's why we're trying to set up new office in Kuala Lumpur and Riyadh in order to enhance the promotion aspects and the promotional efforts of Hong Kong, and also ability in attracting talents and enterprises. And also they learn about the local characteristics and advantages, and they will relay that to the TDC and the business sector in Hong Kong so that our business people can go global. Well, the Permanent Secretary has a detailed discussion with the directors of the various ETOs, and also they discuss how we can have better focus of the Hong Kong ETOs, how they can tell a better Hong Kong story. And we need to have important points for these stories. So we would give the line to text to the various ETOs, and also to help them to tell a good Hong Kong story in their respective countries. That's all. Next, Mr. Ma Fung Kwok.
Thank you, Chair. I'm more interested in arts, culture, and sports. Now, I'm pleased to see in the reports that many ETUs have a separate paragraph on public relations and also arts and creative industries. Places like Brussels, take the Brussels ETO as example, they have talked about their work in this areas a lot. Now, I'm particularly concerned about arts troops performing in other places. I'd like to know whether there is a mechanism to support these groups. For instance, will ETOs be required to, via their own resources, to support these groups, or will there be a central mechanism whereby the culture and cultural services and sports department or the Arts Development Council can take part in organizing opportunities for these tour or for these performing groups? Where will the fund come from? I will invite the PS, Ms. Maggie Wong, to answer. Thank you, Mr. Ma, for your question. You're very correct, Mr. Ma. You can see in the reports from ETOs that one of our important areas of work is to promote arts and culture of Hong Kong. ETOs have supported the work of the Culture, Sports and Tourism Bureau to support and to promote our arts and sports sectors. So ETOs have got resources to support the work of LCSD and also CSTB. They can arrange for artists and also art groups to take part in arts and cultural events in different places. As can be seen from the reports, ETOs have organized concerts, film shows, and creative industry events to showcase Hong Kong's vibrancy in the arts and cultural sector. ETOs will continue to support the CSTB and LCSD and also the Department for Arts and Creative Industries. Thank you. Mr. Dennis Leung, thank you. In the past few years, our government has striving to develop the economy for the betterment of people's livelihood. Under the FS, we have got the Hong Kong Talent Engage to compete for talents to Hong Kong. Now, to make Hong Kong attractive to these enterprises, we need to provide talents that they need. If we don't have such talents, then I'd like to know what sectors are these talents that have come to Hong Kong in the main, will there be feedback to our universities and also teaching institutes so that we can focus on training our own talents so that our young people can benefit from the introduction of strategic enterprises. So is there any feedback to our universities so that our local talents can also benefit? Thank you. P.S. Thank you, Mr. Leung, for your questions. Of course, we want to be place for talents to merge, and we support the Labor and Welfare Bureau, which is the lead department for attracting talents. Of course, we will also support the work of the Bureau through Hong Kong Talent Engage. For instance, they may want to promote new policies and attract talents from different countries. Our ETOs will help. Some enterprises have come to Hong Kong with the assistance of Invest Hong Kong. We will liaise with them, and if different bureaus and departments are involved, there will be proper internal communication so that the relevant departments and bureaus can know, and we can then support them properly. We have the Hong Kong Talent Engage as well as the Labor and Welfare Bureau. I'm sure they will consolidate and the talent needs for Hong Kong. Mr. Johnny Ng. Thank you. I really want to commend the ETOs and mainland officers for their work. Last year, I visited places like Laos, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, the Middle East, and even to Beijing. I have seen how passionate our ETOs and mainland officers have been in promoting Hong Kong. Please keep up with your good work. Mr. He Lefeng, the Vice Director of the State Council, said that we have to supplement the strategies of the country and enhance our role in BRI. I'd like to ask the Secretary what important roles can our ETOs play in this regard? Well, under the BRI, we have the BRI office interfacing with the mainland. We have a joint conference to discuss work that can be done by Hong Kong under BRI. The office and the mainland has done a lot in the past year. They have teamed up to visit different B&R countries so that we can tap into the business opportunities in the financial services sector. We've just visited Kyrgyzstan and also Hungary and also Xinjiang. This is how our BRI office can work together with the mainland. Next year is the 10th anniversary of the promulgation of the BRI. We will even work harder to invite leaders of BRI countries to Hong Kong to showcase Hong Kong's unique characteristics to them. Hopefully, they can also tell us their needs, and so that we can match. And we will do our very best to utilize the business opportunities under BRI. Although I have already drawn the line, but then one more member had pressed the belt after I did that. So, Mr. Lam Seng Keung, thank you. I know you have already drawn the line. I'm sorry I came in late. Members have praised the work of our ETOs and mainland officers for their support. The Law Society, when visiting other countries and also the mainland, have been given a lot of support by these officers. I've also visited these officers to see how they have been doing. recently we have been helping smaller size companies in setting up offices overseas or in the mainland. Now, in this regard, I think the performance of these offices is just so-so. Fewer and fewer Hong Kong lawyers are starting their own practices overseas or in the mainland. There was a recent case, and I requested a Mainland office to send a representative to help, and I saw one representative from the office there. But we also expected our Mainland officers to ask Mainland government officials to attend the ceremony. For some reasons, that did not happen. We don't know whether Mainland officers or ETOs have a duty to help us. But of course, sometimes Mainland office officials may not have time to attend these ceremonies. Thank you. Perhaps Mr. Lam can give us more information after the meeting for us to follow up. ETOs and Mainland officers have the duty to help Hong Kong enterprises when they need assistance. We have the Oasis and also dedicated teams. They are there to serve Hong Kong people. I thank Mr. Lam for his information. Do give us more information so I can help after the meeting. Thank you. Before the meeting, I have had exchanges with the secretary. Of course, ETOs are government setups, but they are not there to just serve government officials. They should also help legislators and chambers of commerce if need to be. This is particularly so when the world situation is so unsettling, and we need them not just to tell good stories of Hong Kong. They should be there to refute wrong accusations, and if we have contacts, we can ask ETOs to make arrangements and to publicize on our behalf. The business sector is very simple. Now, if you want me to invest in a particular place, you have to ensure that business is viable. Sometimes these places may not believe in what the government said, but they will trust the business sector more. So I hope ETOs and Mainland officers can help. Now I want to thank the secretary and his team, and we move on to the next item. We are going to discuss two items together. First is the latest progress of the Innovation and Technology Fund and funding injection proposal. And the second item is Innovation and Technology Fund, Hong Kong Shenzhen Innovation and Technology Park Incubation Support Program for Life and Health Technology Startups. Let us invite the Secretary for INT, Mr. Sun Dong, to join us now. Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. Items 4 and 5 are funding proposals for the INT fund. The EA panel is going to meet at 4:30 p.m. in this room right after this meeting. So we have to hand over the venue to them. On time, we cannot extend our discussion, so please be succinct in asking questions. Mr. Xun, can you please introduce the paper to us? Chair and members of the panel, thank you. The 30th three session has stressed the importance of development of high quality and high-end development. Presidency has said that we must ensure that we deepen reforms and opening up, and He Baolong on the 8th this month in meeting with the business sector mentioned that we must greatly promote the development of INT and enhance our investment in this area to boost our ecosystem in INT. And therefore, we would like to report to this panel the latest progress of various schemes under the INT fund and our funding injection proposal. We hope that members can support the injection of $7.5 billion to the IT fund. And in the budget, it is said that another $2 billion will be injected into the fund to promote or expedite the development of the loop. We hope that another $2 billion can be set up so that we can have a scheme for the we have $200 million for the new Inno-Hong Kong Research Cluster. Now we have consolidated various funds under the scheme. Now the scheme first started in 2019, but now we've got 19 items under the fund. We are going to consolidate some of the funds from 19. There will be 14 projects. We are going to consolidate the ITSP and DRP, and also redefine the nature of the STEM internship scheme and TSSSU, and we will also enhance our funding injection into the scheme. Under the scheme, we have new measures so as to improve the current scheme. For instance, we're going to have the third Inno-Hong Kong Research Cluster. The scheme has provided a very good INT ecosystem in Hong Kong to support the development of INT. That's also helped local enterprises to upgrade and transform, offer good jobs as well. From 2016-17 to 2023-24, the fund has grown by 5 times, from $1.2 billion to over $5.9 billion. In the past 3 financial years, the various enterprise-oriented funding schemes under the IFT have also benefited over 30,000 SMEs, supporting a cumulative total of over 50,000 talents. To better support the development of INT, the fund has got various schemes such as Raise Plus, and also another 2 new schemes, and to enhance the support for commercialization and new and reindustrialization.
For the Microelectronics Institute, we have also enhanced a lot of the development, and we have also enhanced the support for the Research Talent Hub. And there will be a lot of opportunities for the technology transfer offices of universities. We will also roll out new measures. Under the ITF, we have also enhanced support for the Hong Kong branches of the CNERCs and the SKLs. Well, these efforts in the recent years have borne fruit. We can see that the R&D ecology has been enhanced, and the investment in INT development has been increased. It is for the percentage to the GDP, it has increased by 1%, as the gross expenditure on R&D has increased as a ratio to the GDP. So looking at the surplus and the cash flow of the ITF, we think it is important for us to inject $7.5 billion to the ITF so that it can continue to operate in 2025 and 2026, so that we can continue to run the existing schemes and roll out the new initiatives. We understand that for 2025 to 26, the budget has been set aside sufficient funding for this purpose. On the other hand, the Hong Kong administration government has been enhanced the development of the loop. Tomorrow in the morning, we will announce the development of the Hong Kong IT Park in the Loop. And we will talk about the strategy for the development and the targets of the Hong Kong Shenzhen IT Park. And for the advantages of Hong Kong in life and health technology, it will become one of the key elements for the park. For the first batch, phase 1, there will be 4 buildings that are wet laboratory buildings, and it will provide support for the development of the life and health technology in the area. By the end of this year, the various buildings will come into place. Next step, we will focus on attracting talent and enterprises to set foot in the INT Park. And we will also try to build the life and health technology ecology. Apart from attracting key enterprises, we also need to attract startups. So for the budget, it is proposed that we should set aside $200 million for providing acceleration and incubation program for life and health technology. So this is a new commitment. We will have a new dedicated sub-head and to roll out this scheme in the HSITP. The HSITP Limited will be responsible for running the program, and it will tie in with the development of the development in the Loop, so that it will tie in with the development of the Shenzhen Park. Tomorrow, we will try to announce the development of the Hong Kong Park in the Loop. We will build that into the Hong Kong Shenzhen INT Park, and it will be the basis to tie in with the development into Shenzhen Park. With members' support, we plan to submit the proposal to the FC next year, and it will be one of the. It will not be contradictory to attracting key enterprises to the Loop. I'll be happy to take questions from members.
問嘅時間。
Now it's time for questions and answers. It's now for time for questions and answers. So we must hand over the venue to the next panel by 4:30. No more further questions. I'll draw a line here. So before the members raise questions, I would like to remind members that if you have direct or indirect pecuniary interest regarding these two items, please make a declaration in accordance with Clause 83A of the Rules of LegCo and try to make a declaration. Also, members, I would also like to draw attention to Clause 84. So if there is direct pecuniary interest, you should not be casting a vote. So now I would like to read out the names. 6 members would like to speak: Mr. Shanghai Low, Ms. Wendy Hong, Mr. Sunny Tan, Mr. Dennis Leung, Mr. William Wong, and Mr. Johnny Ng. So 4 minutes each, questions and answers. First, Mr. Shanghai Long. Thank you, Chairman. For these two proposals, for the injection of $7.5 billion into the ITF, I support that because the fund has been used in the past 25 years and it greatly supported the development of INT sector in Hong Kong. As regards the $200 million for the incubation support program for the life and health technology startup, I don't really agree with that. I have a few questions. First, on the numbers, well, I have liaised with the ITIB, and I want to know how much money has been spent since 2009. And the answer I got is 510 million. But for the background paper, there is a figure which is some $60.925 billion. So I would like to know which figure is correct. Second, for the $200 million project for incubation, I don't think that is really in the right order because in the past, well, or maybe refer to the Secretary's announcement that an announcement will be made tomorrow about the development of an INT space in the Loop. and it is for the pilot industry. So I would hope that the more larger scale companies can be set up there. Because now you only have a few wet labs, the space is not that big. So I hope you should focus on having more or bigger companies to be established there. This is the key. And for startups, I think let's look at the figures. Well, in the past, we can see that for the startups, we have some 800 of them in the science park, and about 300 of them are in biotech. So why do we need to have another one in the loop, also concerning health technology? We have already used $10 billion for the TTO, and a lot of them are run by the renowned academics, and some of them have established companies. How come that they cannot be located in the loop? And also I'm wondering whether the loop will have sufficient capacity for housing these startups. I think for the initial stage, they should be used for housing the bigger companies. Well, I think the administration has full consideration about the development of the loop. We want to entice overseas enterprises to come here. But we also have to pay attention to the development of startups in Hong Kong. And for the Build Your Dream in Shenzhen, for example, they started as startups. They are also local startups. And we put a lot of emphasis on life and health technology. This is one of the strategy of the Hong Kong government. And we try to make reference to the Boston model, which is the most world-renowned model. In Hong Kong, the universities have done a lot in R&D, and our ranking is very much in the forefront on the development of a startup ecology around the world. So we hope that more and more startups will make use of the loop, and then also the advantage of the GBA to develop there. We have already established 8 buildings. 4 of them will be used as wet laboratory buildings for R&D. But I think developing R&D is not preclusive of the attraction of key enterprises. We have a lot of a support program for assisting these key enterprises to establish a presence in Hong Kong. But for the loop, we would like to support the development of startups there. A lot of the startups, they need support and also funding. So we hope to be targeted and provide support for them. You asked how much has been used under the ITF. I would defer to the director. Sorry, I have to interject because I just asked for 4 minutes. But if the questions are too long, there won't be time for taking the questions because we cannot continue to use the venue. Sorry, the figure should be 50 billion, not 60 billion. Mr. Ivan Lee, well, I will provide supplementary information later. Ms. Wendy Hong. The paper has pointed out that we should try to streamline the funds, the schemes under the fund, and also to consolidate the various subsidy schemes under the fund. We now have a lot of schemes, and it is a bit confusing, so it is good to consolidate them. Well, I would like to know, after consolidation, will there be reduction in administrative costs? If yes, how much can be saved? It is also mentioned in the paper that we will stop to receive applications under the BLF. So will funding also be reduced accordingly? Well, for the injection of fund into the ITF, the $7.5 billion, when will you come to the Legislative Council for funding support? Can you provide more detailed information, like the funds allocated for each of the programs and also the projects that have been approved in the past? For the incubation support program for the loop, I would like to know, is it a 2-year program? For the companies, 2 years may not be a sufficient long period of time. Well, I can see that for the support by the Science Park for the startups is about 3 to 4 years. So during different stages, some of the work may be carried out in the mainland, like the clinical assessments, etc., the production of prototypes. So would they also be eligible for applying for funding under this scheme?
Commissioner, thank you for your questions. Now we will consolidate all the schemes into 14. We believe that there can be some savings in administrative work. But then looking at the different funding schemes, now the number under each scheme is on the rise. So although there are fewer schemes, we do not expect a substantial reduction in the number of applications. As I said, if there is any room for us to further streamline the procedures, we will for sure do so. We would like to seek the panel's support for an injection of $7.5 billion into the fund. It will be included in next year's appropriation bill. So when members scrutinize the appropriation bill next year, you'll be able to see that item. The third question is about the fund for INT fund for better living. So far, 52 items have received subsidy. The amount total $7.2 billion. Now we support German technology and also the use of technology in the community to better people's daily lives. We have got the innovation and technology venture fund, and also we have also funds to support the elderly homes. We believe good and worthy projects will continue to receive funding under the fund. Now, the scheme will last for about 2 years. There are two possibilities under the current situation. Either the scheme will continue, or we will have a pilot first, and then it will be subsumed under other under the framework of other funding schemes, because we need a new park, and it's quite costly for companies to move in. But the park is building up its INT ecosystem, and there should be greater support for companies to move into a new park. Ms. Sunny Tan. Thank you, Chair. I'm grateful to the administration for having approved so many projects. This is some achievement, so I'd like to express our appreciation first. When you want us to give the approval for further injection, now I need to declare interest. I'm the chairman of the Productivity Council and also a member of Race Plus. We need competition in the market. When a startup wants to start an R&D item, then time is of essence. If a startup thinks that it needs to complete the project within half a year, while it is seeking funding support from the government, there may be some delay in the delivery of the project, and that can erode the competitiveness of the project. I understand that the government must gatekeep, but we have to consider the following. I think it is better to enhance the current arrangement, I think the government has already done its utmost in enhancing the overall scheme. I hope the government can be bolder in supporting our ITC so that the Commission can approve applications faster. And of course, it is also the company's responsibilities to ensure they can deliver results. I'd like to know whether we can further streamline and expedite the vetting of these applications so that we can encourage more SMEs to make good use of our INT fund. Secretary, thank you. As for expediting the vetting of applications under INT fund, indeed there are such cries in the community, and that is one of the major reasons why we are streamlining the various funding schemes under the fund. I think we can expedite the approval, and I think we can take 1 month to a few months, because there are over 20,000 applications per year. And the applications have different backgrounds, and not many of them are familiar with the application procedures. Some of them did not give us sufficient documents. There may be various rounds of back and forth that will delay the vetting of the applications. And as you know, there is a very strict audit of the use of such money. For instance, we have to check the cash flow, and the audit commission is very strict with this, and civil servants have to gatekeep properly. So on the one hand, we have to ensure efficiency, and on the other hand, we have to ensure that there are proper checks and balances. Still, we are doing our utmost to enhance the quality and also speed of vetting of such applications. Mr. Dennis Leung, I support the government's efforts in promoting the development of INT. Of course, the government should show its support by means of financial resources as well. From 1999 to now, it's been 25 years. And we understand from the government that it has already spent $51 billion in the INT fund. We should not consider this as a kind of sponsorship or subsidy. It should be viewed as a kind of investment to benefit everyone in Hong Kong. So $51 billion has been spent so far under the INT fund. I'd like to know the amount of intellectual property rights generated. I know that we have an accelerating scheme, and so the matching is $1 to $2, $1 from the sector and $2 from the government. And the project owner would like to own the IP rights. The government, however, should not be too generous. The government should ensure that there is investment return so that everyone in the community can benefit, because we are doing all these in order to promote economic development and to benefit our people. If we do not have any IP rights, then we are not really investing, unless we're talking about Professor Cao of the former Vice Chancellor of CUHK. He invented optic fiber, which eventually benefited everyone in Hong Kong. So how can we ensure that there is return for investment so that the whole community can gain? Secretary, thank you, Mr. Leung, for your views. As you said, in the past 25 years, we have invested over $50 billion. On average, is over $5 billion per year. Would you call that too much or too little? Now, for Tsinghua University, we're talking about $30 billion per year. All right, let's set aside this question. I'll come to this question by Mr. Leung, that is investment return. I have to point out that we've only spent $300 million on investment. The rest is subsidy. A government cannot ask for simple investment return when it comes to investment in INT, because we are talking about education, upgrading the quality of our talent. Now, you asked about our investment return. We have 8 universities among the top 100 in Hong Kong. Now, they are rated according to their R&D results and the quality of their professors and students. We have more than 15 disciplines among the top 100 in the world. As we all know, all these need money. Given the small amount of investment we have been able to keep up our very good standard. Mr. Leung, I think this is one of the investment returns we're talking about. GBA has been developing very rapidly in INT. Many of that is due to our achievement in Hong Kong. We have nurtured many students, and we have also got R&D activities commercialized in the mainland. We have unicorns, over 50 unicorns in the mainland due to Hong Kong's efforts. And we have many successful enterprises in GBA. Many of them had their beginning in Hong Kong, such as Dajiang. These enterprises are employing important or quality talents trained in Hong Kong. Of course, we also have to support the development of the country. This term of government places emphasis on R&D development and commercialization in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, we should be able to commercialize our own R&D results. The CE are spending hundreds of billions of dollars in this regard. We should set up our own industries so that we can benefit from our investment. We have acceleration of new industrialization. The funding was approved by the Council. We are now approving a few applications. We're able to announce some of the successful applications next year. We have spent real money to set up our own production lines, and the CE in his policy address mentioned a number of reforms. We have over 20 teams, and we have over $200 million. And we can only realize these projects in 2026-27. I believe that as long as moving towards the right direction, we'll be able to see a good result. Thank you. Mr. William Wong, thank you. The paper said that the government plans to have a new commitment of $200 million under the INT fund to develop an incubation support program for life and health technology startups. Now, I'm all for this proposal. Having said so, I'd like to ask the Secretary, when it comes to health technology, now the research cycles are quite long. In the early period and mid and late period, research period of a startup can be very different. The ROI and also the return rate can be very different. So I'd like to ask, how are you going to pick startups and what are the criteria for selecting them? Secretary, thank you, Mr. Wong, for your questions. your questions exactly explains why we are proposing such a scheme for life and health technology startups. This is because the research cycles are longer for such technology and will be longer before they can yield results. So in the loop, one of our important industry is life and health technology. Although the research cycles are longer, they still have to survive. They have to launch their products. The sooner the better. For other enterprises, it may be 5 years. For this, they may need 10 years. And therefore, financial support at the early stage or at the middle stage is most important. If you look at our INT fund, we spend the largest amount of money in medical-related researches. The criteria are just the same. Under our Raise Plus scheme, we have all the selection criteria. We will choose enterprises with a very vigorous mechanism. We will have a panel for selecting the startups who will consider the technology level, contribution to society, the amount of jobs they can offer, and also when we can see commercialization. All these are all the criteria we're going to adopt.
Next, Mr. Johnny Ng. Thank you, Chairman. I also support the injection of funds into the ITF. $50 billion have been used for 25 years. That's not a lot. It is very clear that for this fund, it covers the collaboration with the universities, the support for the SMEs, and also the promotion of applied R&D. So I think it is very contributive to the development of an INT ecosystem in Hong Kong. I just have a question on the figures. For the scheme to be used by the public sector, I think this is a good scheme because you encourage the public sector to use the products. I noticed that for 485 schemes have been supported under the program. So on average, it is about $2 million per project. So I would like to know what are the major projects covered by this scheme. So I want to know more about this program. Thank you, Mr. Ng, for supporting the support. I would defer to the Commissioner. For the public sector scheme, the purpose is to help the commercialization of R&D studies. So if they have a concept, then they make use of this program to create a prototype, and then they will be tested in the public sector. Over the years, we have large-scale and also we have small-scale projects. Some ranges from several $100,000 to $1 million. So it is difficult to generalize. But my impression is that, for example, during the COVID period, a lot of the schemes, a lot of the projects under the scheme, they try to help the elderly homes. If they have products that can be enhanced and be used and commercialized, they try to come for support under this scheme. So I think this scheme has played a pivotal role. And for vetting the projects, we will be very stringent. We will look at their budget to see if it is reasonable. But we do have small projects and also medium-scale projects under the public sector trial scheme. So how much does it call for the biggest one, and what is it about, the project? Oh, sorry, I don't have the information at hand. I will provide the information after the meeting. There is still a bit of time left. Mr. Shanghai Long, Commissioner, do you want to respond to his question? Please be concise. Do you still remember the question? Yes, thank you, Chairman. Well, according to the information, since 1999, we have several injections. We have injected $51 billion into the ITF. Some of them may be also for supporting INT and T, but it may not come under the ITF. Sorry, I don't have the information at hand, but I will provide information to the Secretariat after the meeting. Chairman, just to supplement, we are talking about the development of the loop. I think we have to tie in for the development with the loop, which is different from that of the development in Shantin. The mainland has a specific theme for the Shantin Park. It has to focus on new quality production process. But for us, we want to provide support not just for the key state laboratories. We want to provide early support for the startups and also the pilot schemes. So if the products are good, well developed, in the north they can go into the mainland, and from the southern side they can go to the Shantin Techno Loop. The Shantin Techno Loop will be the hub for the I&T development in Hong Kong. So that is the layout that we have in mind. Thank you, Secretary. I would like to say a few words. Actually, this is not a big injection, and also it is not a small amount, because I think for I&T, it is the more funding, the better, because there will be some results anyway. We can see that for the mainland, they have a lot of support measures. For example, the local municipal governments may provide support for the companies engaged in I&T, and they provide subsidy for such companies. And also they may provide tax deductions. I think in Hong Kong, we can also think about that. Now we can see that for some banks, they are willing to provide some incentive for their clients engaging in a green industry or environmental industry. They give them some advantages in terms of the interest that they have to pay back to the bank. Also on the patent, we have discussed about that in the past. I know it is a very complicated matter, but I think the administration will go back and see how we can do better in this front, because for the R&D results, it is important to commercialize the results, and there will be a return. So how can the government try to reap some of the profits and be accountable to the taxpayers? Secretary, a very simple response. Sorry, I forgot to respond to the question about patent. Our position is that the government will not own the patents. We will try to return that to the universities. So the patents will be owned by the university concerned, because industry research is very important. For the enterprises, if they try to apply for patents, they will be owned by the enterprises concerned. I think it is more effective for them to own the patent instead of the government. From the government's perspective, is that we want to invest, and then we hope that there will be more industries thriving in Hong Kong. They will be able to make money, and we will provide job opportunities for the young people, and they will pay tax to the government. So this is what we want. And for the key developments or investment by the government, we may want to own some of the things. That will be a different matter. So this is my view on the investment in I&T. We also have dedicated funding for them to apply for intellectual property rights and patent. We now have a joint discussion for the two items, but I think for voting, let's separate them. First, let's talk about item 4 first. This is funding proposal. I want to reiterate to members that the government will set up, will try to inject 7.5 billion into the ITF to support the work of the ITF during the financial year of 2025 to 26. So do members support this funding proposal? All agree? Thank you. The next is item number 5. I would like to ask members whether you support the administration to submit the proposal to the Finance Committee. Yes, all agree. Thank you. Well, Secretary, Commissioner, and officials, thank you for joining the meeting today. The next item is AOB. I don't have any. Do members have any AOB items? If not, meeting concluded. Thank you, everyone.